when people interact with your brand, your family, what is their experience like? When people interact with your military unit, whether maybe you're a platoon leader, company commander, battalion commander, brigade commander, listening to this, when people interact with your brand, your military unit, what is their experience? Inside, internal, and external, your own soldiers, your own family, but then also people outside your unit, outside your family. For those other entrepreneurs, what are people's experience, your customers' experience, non-customers' experience with your brand? What do you want it to be? How closely aligned is what you want it to be versus what it actually is? Are you even aware enough, self-aware, brand aware enough, socially aware enough of how other people are perceiving your brand? What is going on, EQ gangsters? So for those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, I'm rocking a Be Better t-shirt that I got from a corporate coaching client that I'm actually still at that offsite right now. And I want to share about the emotional impact of quality, the emotional impact of quality. And it hit me. It was really fascinating experience, kind of what my emotional experience has been about interacting with this brand of the company that I am doing this work with, one of my corporate coaching clients. And it's been, I wasn't even, I had no expectation. I had no awareness. I had no awareness of the impact of quality, the emotional impact of quality that I would experience. So thank you all, first of all, for, again, listening to our podcast, watching our YouTube channel, following us along our journey, and letting us be a part of your journey. Thank you for, rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing. Really appreciate it. Seriously, it really means a lot. It gives feedback for us on how we're doing, and whether that's, hey, you're not getting any value out of it, or this is the value that I'm getting out of it. Just whatever the feedback is that that you would like to give, we would value that feedback. So, boom, I've had this corporate coaching client offsite where I've traveled to another state and did a full day workshop specifically discussing creating and helping create this very large company, $300 million company, develop an emotionally intelligent leader development mentorship program for their company, their global company, this global brand. And thankfully, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was amazing. And we had some incredible discussion and conversation, and really began what I feel was a very, very fruitful conversation and discussion with these top 9 executives of this large company. And it wasn't just me. Also, the CEO gave some very positive feedback as well during our after action review. We call it in the military an after action review. This was my experience coming to this offsite. So this is an offsite location that the company owns. They own this particular location. They have recently gone through some renovation and have recently put a conference center on their property for events like these, so that their leadership, their internal leadership, can create a space, atmosphere, environment for their leaders to do work, conferences, meetings, get-togethers, that kind of thing. And I've been here before, many, many years ago. They have again recently done a lot of renovations and upgrades and that kind of thing. So I show up, super amazing piece of property, number one. So the environment, the atmosphere is already, it's just, it's in nature, it's in the woods, it's just gorgeous. This conference center it's a few different cabins, rustic, cozy, but modern. Again, they just finished building this conference center. Go into this conference center, and immediately, this is a beautiful wraparound deck. It overlooks this valley, hundreds and hundreds of acres, maybe thousands of acres of just beautiful woods, this beautiful valley, stream / river down in the valley that you can kind of see from this amazing big giant deck. It's got a few outdoor, seating tables and seating. You go inside this conference center, and it feels like, it almost feels like a country club kind of feel. Not that I have been in a lot of country clubs necessarily, but it just has this cozy ranch country club feel, but not uncomfortable country club, but cozy, but very professional, cozy country club feel. The furniture is amazing. It's comfortable. It's ridiculous quality. The guest room, so there's a lot of guest rooms, so that, again, when they do these offsites with their leaders in their company, their leaders will be staying in these rooms. And of course, I got one of those rooms as well. So I go into to my room, and this is going to sound really funny, but this is all going to be part of this conversation and discussion. I went to sit on the bed. The bed is the perfect firmness. It's not too squishy and soft. It's not cardboard. Not cardboard. It's not, it's like sleeping on a 2x4. It's the perfect firmness. I laid back, and the pillow is the perfect firmness. It's not too soft. It's not too hard. It is the perfect firmness. The sheets, I'm like, wow, man, this is nuts. And at the time, I hadn't even necessarily assimilated or processed that, oh man, the quality is amazing, right? I'm just experiencing all these different things, right? Going to the bathroom, the restroom, and it's got the lids, the toilet lid that does the slow, it doesn't slam shut, right? It's just got this nice slow, closing. The shower is this, large shower glass, glass door handle, it just, so then I go, I get taken into, my host takes me into the dining area. The dining area has these incredible, kind of ranch chandeliers. They have the kitchen is first class, industrial kitchen. The seating, the chairs, it all matches kind of a cabin in the woods would, right? In terms of the interior design. My interior design language and grammar, you can tell, is not super developed. So it's amazing. There's, a big stone fireplace, massive stone fireplace. The actual conference center part of the building that probably would fit maybe, let's say, 50 different folks with big giant screens. And the seats, let me tell you about the seats. The seats in this conference room is like the perfect ergonomic seat, the most up-to-date ergonomic seats. The neck, there's a head and neck adjustment for the seat. The back part of the seat where your back rests up against has multiple adjustments. The armrest, you can adjust up and down. You can adjust in and out. I mean, forward and backward, you can adjust in and out. The angle of the armrest, the height of the seat adjust. I mean, there's every single aspect of the seat is adjustable. You can tell when you sit in it, it's quality. And down to and including the shirts that this host is wearing and they're, these 9 executives are wearing that has their logo on it with their brand and everything is very, very high quality. And so, man, after experiencing all of this within the first, let's say 30 minutes of me arriving, it just hit me. I'm like, wow, man, like getting hit with so much quality it left an impression. I'm like, man, and it just made me reflect on, because obviously, you guys, some of you just heard the episode that we just did on the rebrand and remodel. And I just thought, you know what? And I wanted to just kind of process a little bit, check in with myself, get a little self-awareness. What am I feeling about experiencing so much quality in a 30-minute time period? How does that make me feel to experience such high quality? I think all of us have experienced what low quality feels like. What does a low quality brand feel like? And how did that make you feel when you experienced a low quality brand? For those of you all that are entrepreneurs or business, maybe you own a business, or maybe maybe you're an employee at a company, or maybe you're in the military. Maybe you're a homeschool family. What does your brand represent or reflect as a family, right? Again, for that homeschool family that's listening, when people interact with your brand, your family, what is their experience like? When people interact with your military unit, whether maybe you're a platoon leader, company commander, battalion commander, brigade commander, listening to this, when people interact with your brand, your military unit, what is their experience? Inside, internal, and external. Your own soldiers, your own family, but then also people outside your unit, outside your family. For those other entrepreneurs, what are people's experience, your customers' experience, non-customers' experience with your brand? What do you want it to be? How closely aligned is what you want it to be versus what it actually is? Are you even aware enough, self-aware, brand aware enough, socially aware enough of how other people are perceiving your brand? Where you think it's one thing, but it's actually something different. You think it's A, it's actually Z. How can you get it closer to, between actuality and what you want to where it's, rather than a Z, it's a W, or it's a J, or even better, it's a B, so that delta between what is and what you want it to be is and ultimately where you can get it to be actually an A, unless an A is not what you want. So, and really that's a great place to start, is, because it just made me think, what do I want my brand to reflect and represent? So EQ Gangster, I want it to be even though the name is a little bit edgy and a little bit kind of provocative and again, may shut some people off, and I understand that, how can EQ Gangster become almost like a Rolls Royce of emotional intelligence coaching and training? How can it become or be a Rolls Royce emotional intelligence coaching and training organization and brand, where it's a very high quality And again, not because some people like, dude, Rolls Royce, like, okay, there's different, right, because that can leave an impression, right? Well, that's snobby, or that's not that's not the vibe I'm trying to go with, because that's not me. I'm not a I'm I'm I would like to think that I'm very approachable and I'm not snobby. I don't think I've ever been called snobby before in my life, so I don't think that is a reflection of who I am. So that's not what I mean when I say Rolls Royce. I just mean the highest level of quality. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm coming from a place of I have 3 PhDs in behavioral health and behavioral intelligence either. So when people interact with my brand, I want their experience to be one of high quality. I want them to get tremendous value, which in my world means actual transformation, actual life change and life transformation in their lives. That's what I want people to experience. I want them to experience, a comfortable, safe, trusting, encouraging, challenging, growth-oriented, growth-minded, quality life transformation and life change, where we are coming alongside you. Our brand, through our membership, the EQ Mafia, is coming alongside you to help you be better, to help you be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, to help you with your emotional fitness program, your emotional health program, your emotional intelligence program, and we can come alongside you to help empower you to accomplish the life change and life transformation that you're looking for, that you want to have. And so that is, that's what the experience that I want people to have. So much so that, the ultimate brand, the ultimate positive brand experience is when other people tell other people about a brand. That is and there's an actual term for that in the business world. It's called customer delight. Customer delight. And one of the metrics for customer delight is how many people would you tell about a particular brand? How many people have you told about a particular brand? That is an assessment. That's one of the factors of customer delight. And, if you think about it, this would be kind of a fun list, is make a list of the brands that you have told other people about. And then what will be interesting too is write down a few emotions about how you feel about that particular brand. How does that brand make you feel? What are the emotions associated with that brand that you have? What are the stories that you have about that particular brand? Where did those emotions and feelings and stories come from about that particular brand? And are they pleasant emotions and feelings and stories? Are they unpleasant emotions and feelings and stories? And again, if you are a brand, if you represent a brand, what are those emotions and feelings that other people have about you and your brand? What are the stories other people have about your brand? And how can you change, impact, or influence those emotions and feelings and stories to be to the next level? How can you influence them to even get a greater experience with your particular brand? Because again, ultimately, emotions, conscious or not, or unconscious, aware or not, or unaware, emotions impact behavior. Emotions impact behavior. So I've got to evaluate what is the experience that people have with my brand. Now, again, transition to the EQ Gangster. What is the experience people are going to have with EQ Gangster, whether that's the podcast, whether that's coaching, whether that is the membership, our EQ Mafia, And how can I make that experience as impactful, positive, memorable, and transformational as possible? How can I add as much value and as much life transformational skinny as possible? And you think about it, okay, this is a great question. What brands have had the greatest impact on you? What brands have had the greatest impact on you? Positively or negatively? Or both, actually. What brands have had the most positive impact on you? What brands have had the most negative impact on you? And then analyze why would be a really fascinating kind of study. And I'd love, if you want to put, whether, if you're on YouTube or even on, on the podcast, if you want to put in, whether it's when you rate and review, on the podcast, and you put in the comments there, here are some of the brands that have had the most positive impact on me. Here are some of the brands that have had the most negative impact on me. Or on the YouTube channel in the comments, if you want to put some of those answers in there, that would be awesome. Because I think that's just such a fascinating, I think there's a lot of insights that can be gathered from doing that list. And really, and here's whether you're not, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, again, you're representing something. You're representing your company. You're representing your family. You're representing you. How do you make people feel? The cheesy quote, which I love, it's one of my favorite cheesy quotes: people will not remember what you said. They will always remember how you made them feel. People will not remember what you said. They will always remember how you made them feel. How do you make other people feel? Do you know? Can you even figure that information out? How can you figure that information out? How can you do it objectively and not subjectively? Because again, depending on what level where your self-awareness is at, you may not be aware of how you're being perceived, how you're coming across, how other people are interacting with and or feeling about your respective brand. So it's really important. It's really important. Again, I had no idea the impact that because again, I'm not a snob guy. I'm not the guy that's like, well, if I'm not staying in the nicest, I've stayed in some Super Ochos, the Super 8s. I've stayed once I've stayed in a Ritz-Carlton. There have been a couple times I've stayed in some really nice places, but that's not my normal MO. So I was not intentionally, actively looking to, okay, I'm going to experience this brand. And it was all subconscious. This all happened on a subconscious emotional level where, again, I was just like, okay, cool, man, this is, man, but then after quality, after quality, after quality, after quality, all of a sudden I'm like, it went from my subconscious to a conscious level. God, I was like, wow, this is incredible. And it just made me, it made me feel valued. It made me feel empowered. It made me feel important. It made me feel cared for. It made me feel invested in. It made me feel meaningful. It made me feel good. It made me feel, it made me feel maybe even excited. It just hit me. It just hit me on another level that, man, this isn't even my brand. It's not even I've got, other than this being a corporate client of mine, they do B2B stuff, business to business stuff. I don't necessarily, now, because it's a big company, I've actually been number of states all over the country and have experienced and seen their products, but I have no blood in this game, right? It's not my company. I'm not employed by this company. I'm not like, I'm not getting a piece of the juice. I'm not getting a piece of the action, the business action. Like, this is just a client of mine. And it was just such a visceral experience that, it's really, and again, how fortuitous in the middle of a rebrand. And maybe that's why, right? Maybe that's why subconsciously, maybe it's like, okay, I'm kind of in this brand experience mode because we're rebranding and remodeling, changing our model up a little bit. And so maybe that's why. I don't know, but it just hit me on another level. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I experienced this at this time because, yeah, for all the reasons that I said. And it just made me a lot more intentional on how I want to be as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a coach, as a consultant, as somebody who is adding value and being a part of helping people transform their lives. I want to be world class at it. I don't want to be semi good at it or fairly good at it or pretty good at it. I want to be excellent. I want to strive for excellence. In fact, I'm getting some other certifications. I'm getting Myers-Briggs certified. I've used Personality Plus for 25 years, and I still love it. Myers-Briggs, I just got assessed and coached on my own Myers-Briggs assessment, and it blew my mind. So I'm getting Myers-Briggs certified. If you guys have heard of a book called 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni, I'm getting 5B certified, 5 Behaviors of a Team certified, which is, again, partnered with 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, Patrick Lencioni, with another organization to create an assessment tool for companies, for teams, to be able to go in and assess an organization on the 5 behaviors, which again is the Patrick Lencioni book there. I'm going to get certified in that as well. So I'm getting these, just constantly expanding my toolkit because I want to be world-class at helping people and organizations transform their organizations by helping them become more emotionally intelligent and more emotionally healthy and in shape, so that they're not, their cultures are not toxic. They're as healthy and productive as they possibly can be. When you have teams and leaders of organizations that are not emotionally healthy, that is going to impact the culture, which is going to impact behavior and performance, which is going to impact outcomes and ROI. So this has been such a neat experience to spend some time with this client of mine, getting this exposure and experience to a world-class global brand, and again, be able to make some very intentional thoughts, decisions, behaviors on how I can make the EQ Gangster brand a world-class brand. If you don't deal with your emotional issues, your family, friends, colleagues, company will have to deal with your emotional issues. Unaddressed emotional issues don't get better over time. They actually compound. Emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally. Thank you again for rating, reviewing, sharing, subscribing. Absolutely appreciate your feedback, your comments, your reviews. Thank you so much. If this added any value to you, please feel free to share it with other people. Again, thank you for rating it, reviewing it, giving us your feedback, and again, letting us be a part of your own emotional growth journey.